Welcome back to Warthog News, and this long, hot summer week, there's been quite a lot of rumors bubbling about the game, speculation of when Operation Summer is going to happen, and what is coming in the next update. So I have some speculation and ideas to present to you. First off, let's talk about Operation Summer. That is expected to happen sometime very soon, as it happened around this time of year last year. The last official word on Operation Summer came from Smin 1080p saying, given World War mode is just coming to a close, yes, expect a short break at least. And then reiterated later saying, as I said previously, we just finished World War mode. Let's at least have a short pause before what comes next. Stay tuned to the news. So obviously the mode is coming up soon, but we're going to have a little bit of a break. Now this might be the bit of the break. Last year, we didn't even get to talk about it till August 6th. So in those terms, we have a bit of a time to wait before the stress builds up. Now what will Operation Summer be? Probably some sort of market-related event in which you have to construct some bizarre obelisk in Gaijin's glory. The real question, what people actually care about, what are the vehicles going to be for Operation Summer? Well, I can tell you, and I tell this to everybody, I have never seen, nor have I ever done, guessed the vehicles that will come in an upcoming event. Even all the shady Discord message leakers have never even given me a list of possible event vehicles. So I can't say, but I do have a bit of speculation. You see, my boy, the thick tank, the mouse, got a buff that Warboos have been asking forever for. Since the introduction of the vehicle, people have been asking that the turret needs to be 10mm thicker. They want it to be 230mm as opposed to the was 220. But in fact, Gaijin actually went beyond the request and added 2 more millimeters, a total of 12mm thickness increase. Now you're probably asking, what does this even matter? Whenever is an increase of 12mm ever going to mean anything? Well, I tell you that the amount does not matter. It matters on where you put it. You see, with this additional 12mm to the front of the mouse turret, it can no longer be penetrated frontally by Russian APHE rounds. It was under many people's speculation that they had the mouse only at 220mm because adding that additional 12mm would make it OP compared to the various vehicles it had faced. Back when top tier was T-54s. But then days turned to months, months turned to years, and the mouse was no longer top tier. It could not compete with the Heat FS and APFS DS that would easily cut through its main advantage, the thick armor. And then they removed it because Gaijin hates you. So it begs the question, why did you change a tank that can no longer be added to the game? Well, there's two answers, and first is the reasonable one. It still is in game. The people who currently have it or are researching it kept it and still take it out from time to time. So it's still affecting players in game, and so it being historically accurate and balanced is still necessary. So perhaps devs have read the 14th bug report about how the mouse's armor is incorrect and thought, you know, this guy right here, he makes a good point, let's change that. Or there's the possibility that for the upcoming Operation Summer, the mouse will be an unlockable vehicle, as it was stated that the vehicle could return as an event vehicle, and Operation Summer is coming up, so it would be the prime opportunity to do so. If they were to do that, would not be very gleeful about it, unless it's one of those events in which you have to win 3 battles, or something else extremely simple like that. Removing the vehicle only to later put it behind a paywall is rather insulting. However, that's not the only ideas going around about what we could see for Operation Summer. Originally dug up by Mike 10D, shows some lines of code in the files talking about a Leopard C2 MEXAS, which is a Canadian variant of the Leopard covered in MEXAS, or Modular Expandable Armor System, which is like chunks of composite armor slapped onto a tank. It would be very understandable for this to be a high-tier event vehicle, similar to the new M60 that we recently got. But what tech tree would it go in? The Leopard, as we all know, is a German vehicle. The armor system is actually a German armor system. However, the vehicle is actively used by Canada, not Germany. So some people had gotten the idea that maybe UK is going to get a Leopard in their tree, which would be hilarious and a very large departure than what you usually see in their tree. However, it sounds more like it's going to be going in the German tree. And replying to somebody stating, congrats for actually knowing what Great Britain is. However, it is a generic term including all overseas territories, especially during World War II. Sim 1080p says, during World War II, yes, and that's why it's mostly World War II vehicles that Britain has from the Commonwealth. But the Leopard 1 is not a World War II tank. Wait, Sim, are you sure about that one? I often see in this game Leos and Tiger IIs fighting side by side. I only assume that it is a World War II tank. Why would it be fighting with 1940s tanks. And in replies to Great Britain has contained Commonwealth vehicles since day one, Sim10AP stated, America also has Canadian vehicles. Indeed, Britain makes a logical sense for most Commonwealth vehicles, such as the Boomerang, Leander, and AC Mark IV, for example. But a Leopard 1 modification is not even closely British. Post-war and post-Empire Canada was more and more its own nation, and made many independent choices in terms of vehicles it selected and went with. Since nations such as Israel and Canada don't have a full tree, their vehicles are distributed in the nations that suit them best. For example, the IDF AF Valtor makes more sense in the French tree than the American, just like the Piton does in the US tree. There's no set rule that all Commonwealth vehicles must go in the Great British tree. Would they logically fit best? Then yes, of course, but the Leopard 1 does not at all. What's far more fitting was the Vickers Mark 7 that was actually the closest the British came to a Leopard of their own. Britain has more than enough unique choices in terms of vehicles like the Roycott and other future choices without just resorting to anything used by the Commonwealth nations that has zero relation to British being sort of shoehorned into the tree. It's kind of funny how he talks about how Britain has better choices that weren't just any old vehicle that was in the Commonwealth, but it also brings up the Roycott, which Britain had little to no relation in the development of, and I'm pretty sure actually we're on pretty rocky ground with South Africa when it was being developed. And when it comes to shoehorning the entire tank destroyer line for Great Britain, the Roycott plays nothing like any of them. In fact, you're going through ATGM tanks before you get to that thing. However, for the most part, I agree with Sim10AP in this one. UK does not need a Leopard. However, personally, I think that Germany doesn't need a Canadian Leopard. They have plenty of their own variants of Leopards that we don't have in game yet. Gaijin needs to stop trying to pander to people of certain nations to get their money in the easy way. How about you actually just make a good game to get people's money? But someone followed up the Sim sitting, so according to your statement, all GDR vehicles should be in the USSR tree since East Germany doesn't have a full tree. But some tanks and planes of the USSR can be found in the German tech tree. And Sim replied with, how in any way did you get anything about GDR vehicles when I was talking about Canada and Great Britain? GDR is still Germany and has and always will go in the German tree. Which is a great transition to the next subject of another data mine. A German IL-28 skin was found, though it is unknown whether it's going to be Soviet or German. However, the German jet bomber line ends with an Arado, and it would only make sense for them to continue on it with more jet bombers like the IL-28. But does Germany really need more Russian jets? And if no, what would continue the German bomber line? And other more minor news, data mines are pointing towards Operation Summer coming quite soon. The AH-1Z had lost its tow missiles. Actually, this happened quite some time ago and I kept on forgetting to report about it. Other things I've kept on forgetting to report about is the A-10 is not coming in the next patch, confirmed by Sim1080p. And the Storytime dude's apparently on vacation. I hope he's having a great one. And in terms of changelogs, there was one small one and one big one. The small one, they had improved performance with battles with a large amount of aircraft, which is great for enduring confrontation, although you never really see more than like 20 people in a lobby. And the big one was actually quite significant with a number of battle rating changes. The Do-17E1 was changed from 1.3 to 1.0 in arcade and realistic. The TBF-1C was changed from 2.7 to 2.3 in realistic and 2.3 to 2.0 in simulator. The B-29 was changed from 6.3 to 6.7 in arcade and realistic. The HE-177A5 was changed in arcade and simulator from 5.7 to 6.0 and in realistic from 5.3 to 5.7. The TU-4 in arcade and simulator were changed from 7.3 to 7.7 and in realistic from 7.7 to 8.0. The F-89D was changed from 7.3 to 7.7 finally in realistic, and the M60 AMBT was changed in realistic from 10.0 to 9.7. Also, its 25mm autocannon had quite a buff, increasing the fire rate from 120 rounds per minute to 260. Also, the Roland missiles had an increase in their explosive power, the 1 going from 3.3 to 3.5 kilograms and the 3 going from 4.45 to 5.2 kilograms. Should be much more effective against aircraft now. And besides that, there's apparently another leak list being floated around, most likely fake. Maybe I'll go over that again, maybe not. But yeah, what do you think is going to be the event vehicles for Operation Summer? I've never really seen anyone able to actually guess what's coming, but we might be rather close this time around. Personally, I'm still hoping for some actually weird vehicles, not like practical vehicles that you would expect. fact. Like that one Russian tank with 3 guns. Why haven't we seen that thing yet? But that's all the news I have for this video. First, I'd like to thank my Patreons, Sukoblia Idinahui, thank you very much, as well as my YouTube members, Peter Klinski, Nico Korkamaki, I like them thick, Mehmet Hazarchi, Joel Blopsky, Tex, One Max, Roger Rammer, Grimace, Mighty Peppers, Pointless Gunsinks, and Waffly Joker 6. A big thank you to all of you. Members and patrons get videos uploaded a little bit early, unique Discord role, as well as permissions in my Minecraft server, which should be up. So if you'd like to join them, either hit the join button or click on the links down below. If you need comments, concerns, or questions about the things I went over in this video, be sure to comment down below or on my Discord. If you've liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, don't hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I make weekly news videos every weekend and make random videos throughout the week, and I like to stream on Saturdays, so be sure to hit the bell icon to be notified anytime I upload anything. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. In the terms of bonus news, according to One Max, the way to get Bella Ciao to play is you have to lose 5 times as Italy.
Ciao partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire.